Hi there, my name is Awadrama, and this is my story of redemption, of how I got saved, how I've been redeemed and renewed by my Lord and Savior Jesus. So a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in a village in southern Vietnam to a family that had been practicing and following our traditional belief, which was animism. Animism is a belief that every living thing are spiritual, such as the mountains, the rocks, the rivers, the trees are considered to be spiritual and sometimes being worshipped too. And a lot of times these practices involve rituals and sacrifices. Therefore, my family, they did not know Christ. And it was back in the mid-90s when the gospel of Jesus was spread throughout the land and many people were converted and got baptized and gave their life to Jesus. And my parents were one of those people who got converted and got baptized. And even though I grew up in a Christian home, and even though my parent became Christian, they were not able to create a loving home for my siblings and I. I experienced a lot of abuse in that broken home, verbally, mentally, physically. Even though we were going to church on Sunday, my parents were very broken themselves and they never had love growing up, so they couldn't forward the love that they never had to me. So I experienced a lot of pain and suffering growing up in that broken home. And because of that broken home, I felt worthless, I felt unloved. I felt like I would never be loved and no one will ever want me, that I'm never gonna be valuable. So I developed severe depressions from my childhood traumas, from being abused for over 16 years of my life. And I started looking for love in the wrong places, from the wrong people. And that's when I discovered the lifestyle of partying, which was, normalized in the world. It's a great life, right? And I thought I found my true happiness because I started meeting a lot of men at the clubs and I got attentions that I never had. And I thought it was just great, I'm getting attention from these guys who's complimenting me, who's telling me, I'm beautiful, like that they're interested in me. And I thought that was great. And I thought that I had found my happiness because, that was like a great way for me to cope from a lot of the stuff that I went through. And I just buried a lot of the stuff there because like most of the times I was drunk, so I couldn't even think about what really happened. I couldn't really remember what happened growing up because most of the times I was drunk, I was partying, I was busy partying. It was just like working and partying and working and partying, so I didn't really have time to focus on, what happened to me growing up. So I kind of forgot about the abuse for a bit. And it only led me to further and further destruction. It caused me to be more depressed. It caused me to feel more empty and more hurt. It caused me to face more rejections from people that, I was hoping to get love from. And it was back in 2020 when I really hit rock bottom in life. And I started questioning my existence. And then I just thought to myself, like, is my life really worth living? If I'm gonna suffer, if I'm just gonna go through like so much pain in life, if I'm gonna continue to suffer because I already suffered enough growing up, like, is my life really worth living? Do I really wanna go on? Do I wanna, is there anything for me here, And my depression just got really, really, really bad. And my anxiety got just worse than it has ever been. And I started developing like suicidal thoughts. And there were times in that year where I actually wanted to like take my own life and just like disappear from this world because it was just too much for me. I felt hopeless and I felt helpless. I just felt very hopeless and helpless. I just didn't know how to deal with it. It was just too much for me to bear, and too much for me to live with. And that's when I realized, like, I really need God's forgiveness. I really need it. And that's when I started looking into counseling. And that's when I found this Christian counseling located in Burnaby. And I remember my first time having a session with this wonderful Christian lady. As she and I got to know each other, just for me to feel comfortable to like express my pain and everything that I went through and just open up to her. And then I remember she asked if she could pray for me. And like, I have not been to church for over 10 years, so I didn't even know how to pray. Like, I totally forgot. And as she prayed for me, and I felt emotional, I started crying. And so I had many sessions with her, and then eventually when it came to an end, she asked if I wanted to do a Bible study with another Christian lady that she could connect me with. And I was like, okay, why not, right? So she connected me with this lovely Christian lady who I was meeting after work every Thursday after work to do a Bible study with her, and we were studying the book of Ephesians. And every time we got together and had a Bible study together, she would pray, and she suggested that I should look for a church to join. And I was like, okay, why not? I was just like being open-minded. I prayed about it. I said, just lead me to wherever you want me to be, like a Bible-believing church that you would want me to be at. And that's when I started looking for a church. And at that time, we were on lockdown, so a lot of churches were closed. And City Baptist Church happened to be open. And it was at a parking lot outside of a Christian school. And now looking back, I think that, like, God, like, just want me to check it out, I guess. And I started seeking the Lord. I bought myself a Bible. I started reading the Bibles. And that's when I realized, this is what I want. Like, I want to seek the Lord. I want to know the Lord. And I want to trust the Lord. And that's what I did. And I just surrendered to Him and cried out to Him and told Him that I needed Him. I needed Him in my life. I needed Him to save me. I needed Him to heal me and to fix me, because I was just very, very broken. I was a very broken person. I was hurting. And I remember reading John 3:16, one of my favorite verses of all time. For God so loved the world that whoever believes in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And it just made me realize, like, wow, like, He really loves me. Like, God really loves me, that He was willing to send His one and only begotten Son, Jesus. And not only He died on a cross and paid for my sins, He has answered my prayers, heard my cries, healed me, fixed me. And I know that I'm where I am right now, and I'm who I am. It's only by the grace of God. It's only because of His mercy and His unending love for me. Looking back a few years ago, I was full of hatred, anger, jealousy, resentment, bitterness, and unforgiveness. And even when I came to Christ, all of these feelings and all of these seeds that I had inside of me didn't disappear overnight. And I remember crying out to Jesus, and I said, Lord, I hate the fact that I'm like this, and I hate the fact that I can't forgive people and I can't love people. Would you show me how to love people the way that you love me? And would you show me to forgive people the way that you've forgiven me, to be merciful towards people and to be gracious towards them, because I'm really struggling, Lord. And I just cried out to Him. Because deep down in my heart, even though I was a mess, I had this desire to love people and to forgive people. But it was hard for me to do it in my own strength. So I just surrendered to the Lord. And throughout the years and, every day, and it was step-by-step kind of thing. And He's been transforming me, helping me to forgive people who've hurt me, and to be kind to them, and to be compassionate to them. And it's something I would never be able to do on my own. And I know that it's only because of Him. It's because of the strength that He's giving me. And the Bible tells that our strengths come from the Lord. And I know that strength for me to be able to forgive people who have hurt me, mistreated me, took advantage of me, is from the Lord, because I know that I cannot do it on my own. I hope that God will use my brokenness and my pain of the past to bring people closer to Him, so that they may know Christ, and that through Him they may find true love, forgiveness, and freedom.